Welcome back to the show, my friends. You know it's a Monday and we're feeling feisty, which is definitely time for Hot Topics. And on today's panel, we have stylist Darcy Camden, Cairo Radio's Colleen O'Brien, and my executive producer, Joseph Suttner. Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
I am so delighted to see you. Well, first and foremost, Colleen, delighted to meet you.
I know, you too, Amity. I love what you and everybody is doing on this show. So the first time on the show with you, I couldn't be more excited. I'm so happy to be here.
That's a requirement for being on this show, giving compliments.
Oh.
No, we do appreciate it. And I actually didn't. I love that you and our executive producer, Joseph, have been friends for a very long time. The radio and TV world is very small,
Very
right?
small.
Yes, it is.
Everyone knows everyone. I mean, Colleen, I think, and I met in 2011 at my first TV job at KXLY in Spokane. Good times. We have a photo of it. It was just, it was, you know, a different time, but it was really fun. There's me and Colleen.
Look at
Look at you.
Babies,
Yes,
right?
we were the weekend. I was the weekend producer.
Okay,
so.
first of all, your hair, I've never seen it so short.
Yeah,
Colleen,
that's-
your hair, super anchor hair, love it.
I know. I still got the touch. I tried to pull it out for you guys today. This radio gal can still do it. But Joseph,
can.
he's always been such a talented producer. So I'm happy to be here and support him.
Yeah, it's a small world. It's fun.
Well, that is so great. Well, I just want to say cheers to your long friendship.
Cheers with this.
With this very interesting new soda we have here. This is Coca-Cola Creations Dream World flavor. It is supposed to taste like dreams.
Okay.
And
Oh,
since-
big.
Since Darcy, you're about to go into Dreamland down in Mexico for vacation, we thought, you know, this would be perfect. Is it?
It's sweet, but I can't tell what they've added
What
to
is that flavor?
Coca-Cola to make it this different taste.
Is that peach?
I don't like
That's
it.
a good guess. Peach.
I don't
like
like
it?
it.
I kind of
like
got like a plum flavor to it.
Yeah.
Maybe peach is right. I don't know. It's very tropical.
I
on
got
top
a-
of the Coca-Cola.
Definitely a kick in the tongue when I
it nice?
I like it.
Nightmare
My
flavor?
favorite soda is a mix of root beer and Coke. So if I'm ever at the machine, I do
That
half
is a
and half.
thing?
I've never
And
done that.
yeah, that's my favorite soda. And
Wow.
that kind of is the flavor.
A little bit of that.
I
Wait, what
can
are we
hear that. I can feel that.
A little
Are
root
we
beer.
thinking rum? Are we thinking tequila? Are we thinking whiskey? What goes with
Yes.
the Coca-Cola here?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think rum would make this too sweet? I feel like you would need something
Yeah,
like
maybe like a bourbon or a.
maybe bourbon. I feel
Good
like
choice.
vodka. Maybe just kind of a neutral, a neutral
Can I
flavor.
say though, I like this little can. I think this is a, you know.
The can is delightful.
This is a perfect size
Yeah.
for a soda.
The minis are where it's at.
This
Big
is not
bites,
the
too much
first time
sugar.
we've tried a new Coke flavor on. They've been doing this with like all these new different flavors and things and collaborations. It's very interesting to me that Coke is trying to step into a different world.
Is it only
no more.
limited time?
It's not just new Coke anymore, my friends.
It's
Is
a
this
limited.
only out for a little bit, limited time? 'Cause
Yeah.
I like it.
It's limited time, so you're welcome.
Well, Colleen, you can have mine.
Thank you.
All right, so we've all worked again in television and radio, and you know how it is that we have asked to do like 600 jobs. Like I think I've done every job in a newsroom, like except for directing a TV show. Well, now people are taking kind of this overwork feel to like no way. It's called quiet quitting. Have you heard of this? Where
Yes.
basically people are just saying, I'm sorry, I'm just not going to do this extra task. I'm going to do what you pay me for and no more, no less.
Bare minimum.
Is that kind of what I'm understanding about this?
Yeah, I didn't know about this phrase, quiet quitting. To me, it just feels like boundaries, putting boundaries in
Yes.
at work, which is sort of a normal human thing to do. So I think a lot of us through the pandemic realized that slowdown was good for us. It made us realize where we can focus our energy at work and where our energy needs to be spent at home, whatever that means, whether you're single or have a family. I don't know if I like it being called quiet quitting because it makes it sound like you're giving up on your job. But certainly having boundaries in place at work is very important to your mental health.
Okay, so bit of a misnomer. What do you think, Darce?
I think the quiet part of this whole concept. I think if you are overworked and you need to put boundaries in place, it's important to have a conversation maybe with your employer to express that rather than just shifting how you operate without telling anybody and because I think that can be perceived as you don't care about your job anymore, you're not happy, and maybe you're looking for something else.
I do have to say I am guilty of quiet quitting in a previous time in my life. I think the quiet part makes sense if you've ever worked in a really toxic environment, you know, and you feel like you are kind of powerless to change anything. You kind of just shut down. You don't want to quit. you just kind of do the basic, just put your head down and get the work done, and that's kind of like a survival mechanism, I think. So I don't know. I understand.
I agree, and I think that we have to think back. I mean, the pandemic has changed so much, and the culture of the work before was like the employer had the power over the employee, and it wasn't until we had this great resignation that now we're starting to see, hey, it is okay to say, no, too much is too much. Because before that, I think we had this real culture of like, no, do it all.
Yeah.
So that's good. But I am glad people are speaking up, and the people have spoken also when it comes to the recent events that happened over the pandemic. So King County prosecutor is requesting a criminal probe, I should say, of missing texts of former Mayor Jenny Durkan, Police Chief Carmen Best. This is something I think because really people, and you have feelings on this, Joseph, I know, but I really think people were very traumatized by many of the events that happened. I don't think they're singling anyone out. I think people just want answers, right?
Yeah, that whole time in 2020 with the CHOP and all that, I've talked about how I've lived in that area during that time. And I was a volunteer for the city for a couple of years, and you have to specifically take a class to learn about record keeping. You don't just delete emails or phone messages or anything. And I was not a paid city employee. I was a volunteer, and I had that training. So I had to believe that everyone knew that they need to keep their records, and it was just very suspect timing with when they decided to, get rid of the messages. So I don't know, I'm very curious to see what happens, and I think, if there's important information that was lost, hopefully that information can be found.
Definitely sus.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think this one's easy for me, where if you have a government public servant deleting text messages during a really critical time in our city's history with the CHOP, that needs accountability. You cannot do that, even if it was an innocent mistake or done without ill intent or criminal intent, but done to maybe protect somebody. You still need to be held accountable because, as you said, Joseph, as a volunteer, you were held to that standard.
Yeah.
Government officials, especially the mayor and police chief, need to be held accountable.
All right. Well, before we finish talking about the public things, how about public transportation? Sound Transit now announcing more construction delays. They're pushing the line from Bellevue, I should say, from 2023 to 2024. The line to Federal Way pushed from 2024 to 2025. It's very disappointing to many folks who live in the South Sound, who live on the East Side. So, but I understand it's hard. It's a tough situation. What do you think?
It's sad. But can we honestly not expect? The pandemic disrupted so many things. How could they not be delayed? Just everyone is delayed from what happened in 2020, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, there's a concrete strike, there's worker shortages, we're up against a lot. Has there ever been a construction project in the history of construction that finished on time and on budget? I think it's just part of finishing, part of getting it done.
However, I will say that if we get used to allowing these sorts of delays and being like, I get it.
Point.
Are we ever going to get light rail up in Snohomish County? So part of me is like, I get it, but you were already delayed 10 years and now you're delayed again. So I just, I want us to be a little bit harder on that.
That's very true.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. I know. It's hard. And then, there's got to be like more, let me tell you how many times, and I know, Colleen, you've probably been this too, and reported on this, there have been delays and issues just because of the train tracks and the maintenance that needs to be done. So hopefully they get it all figured out.